Candlepin bowling is a New England tradition and a sport enjoyed by both girls and boys of all ages. Across 6 annual tournaments, we bring together the game's finest young talent in a celebration of bright futures, big scores, and bigger smiles. We are proud to introduce the new generation of bowling with Season 10 of Candlepin for Kids. To see old episodes and for more information, go to www.cp4k.com. Greetings from Leo's Super Bowl in Amesbury, Massachusetts. Last match of the day here on Candlepin for Kids Season 10 alongside Dan Gauthier. I'm Rob Taylor. We finally made it to our oldest age group, and we saw some professional-like scores today out of these guys.
Saw some professional scores, some Hulkamania-like scores, and I gotta give you a confession, Rob. Krush scares me. I mean, he's intense, that guy. He hit the second highest score ever hit today qualifying, 416. Bloom was shaking there. I think Bloom thought his record was going to be gone for a minute, but...
Scares me too, Shu. Let's meet those bowlers right now. A hometown girl who averaged a 117 on her 3 Candlepin for Kids appearances last season is joined by a guy coming off a 416 in the qualifying rounds. It's Sonya Richard and Jamie Krush Schmidt. Challenging them, the Portsmouth International champion and $1,000 scholarship winner teams up with a Bogey Lanes native that's a 400 machine. Meet Shannon Scribner and Josh Lowell. And away we go, Sonya Richard on lane 23 from Leo Super Bowl. Next to her, Shannon Scribner. And we have a special guest with us today, Dan.
Yes, we do, Rob. We have John Starner. He's a former Candlepin for Kids competitor. Now, since he's graduated from Candlepin for Kids, he's been bowling in the Worlds. He's been bowling in the Friday Pro League, which he's my team captain. Right, John? Welcome to the booth.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
This is your home house, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Know any of these kids who are bowling today?
Oh, I've known Sonya for years. I've been watching her grow up. Great bowler, great bowler.
Any surprise that she's in this match?
No, not at all. I mean, she's been doing well the past couple of years. Glad to see her at the big stage.
And I think Sonya had her second highest score of the day with a 144 behind only her partner, Jamie Schmidt's 160 game. So,
do you know Sonya well enough to know, when she's on, is there one thing that she focuses on to, to keep her scores good, or?
She's got to keep that shoulder straight the whole way through. Whenever she dips her shoulder, it tends to tail way to the right.
Well, she must not have dipped it there, Rob.
Kept it straight there. Hammer for Sonya Richard. Sonya, of course, made a deep run into our Tournament of Champions last season. Her opponent, Shannon Scribner, is no slouch herself. She is the Portsmouth champion and the winner of a $1,000 scholarship, and she pins that spare down right there.
I had to look on Sonya's sheet. I wanted to see if she put John Starner as her favorite pro bowler, but nah, she went with a lesser-known guy, Mike Morgan.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Household name.
If I remember right, Rob, wasn't Mikey Morgan your favorite bowler back then when you were on Candlepin for Kids?
He was.
If it falls, could be a bowling ball ticket. 2 more pins.
Shannon Scribner looking for the hammer too. These are 2 of the top ladies in the game. We've talked up on our website, Dan, all the time about how strong this Division III girls is, and we're seeing 2 of those top guns right here.
Yeah, I mean, 29 after 2 boxes and a spare.
Shannon on it as well.
Good, yeah. We had to check with our judges. You say good, John?
I say it was very good.
All right.
Very good.
We've got 3 goods. We don't have the, who's that American Idol? We don't have the, who's the mean one? Simon. Simon's not here. Give it a buzz there.
So Sonya had 4 marks in a row last year on our championship show. Her sister, earlier today, Sage Johnson, had 4 marks in a row. And now she's got a little streak going here. Tough shot with the back row, but some wood to play.
Well, every day, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where would you play it, John?
I play it right at the red line. Hopefully they'll spray.
Well, that's easy to say. You had 8 red lines out there. On.
Well, then I meant the front one then.
What a shot by Scribner!
Pretty shot. Shannon Scribner.
Bounces it off that wall.
Robbie made some predictions this week, and he had Shannon Scribner ranked pretty high.
I had her as my number 2 girl behind only Kylie Josefiak.
And she is doing you proud here, Rob. 56 on a ball after 4.
Her father was telling me how far she'd come in the past year. I watched her first string at Portsmouth and saw it was good, and she rode that all the way to the title with some very strong competition. Maddie Kelly and Kylie Josefiak were neck and neck with her the entire way, and Shannon came out with a clutch finish to win by 4. Shannon with another chance at a mark here.
If these were the 11 and unders, Rob, that would be good for a raffle ticket for the bowling balls, 3 marks in a row. But these older kids, they're good, so we make them throw a double.
We hold them to a higher caliber here.
Or if the orange pin comes out and they throw a strike, that'll get them in the raffle as well. And win a bowling pin.
Just a little light. So fireworks early here, going into the half. 2 very high scores.
It's the first time you've seen Shannon Scribner, John?
This is the first time I have seen her, and I have to say I'm very impressed with what she can do.
Yeah, I don't see any real weaknesses. She has good follow-through, pretty good speed.
She had a giant hook last year.
Very good form. Good point. Good form. Good form is so important, right? I mean, I look for that the most, especially with the younger kids, for me to predict which ones are going to be really good growing up.
Oh yes, I mean form's key in this game, and it's all form, and then you also got to think of the head, mental game, and as if your head's way ahead of the bowling game, you're going to be a great bowler someday.
And the form's not just for the little kids. I mean, we just bowled on Friday night, and every time I start struggling the least bit, I exaggerate my form on the ball and hold the pose with the arm way up. And honestly, I find it helps. I don't know if you do a similar thing or something you think about when you bowl.
Oh, of course. I mean, you need to have your form right where you want it, but at the same time, you also got a lot of stuff to worry about with your ball speed, and just where you follow through more than half the time.
Ball speed's a great what's the word I'm looking for? Transition into Krush.
That is a good transition. Both of these guys have some velocity, but Krush more so than Josh. Jamie Schmidt threw a 4.16 today to qualify, which, as you said, just might be the second highest score in the history of the show qualifying. Josh on the other side, no slouch himself, 3.72. So both of these guys with averages way over 120 today.
They're going to have to work to finish their halves ahead of their partners. 73 and 63 halves for the girls.
Now, Jamie Schmidt is coming off a fantastic Portsmouth as well. He was 4 pins shy from that title. It was Kevin Jones from Alley-Cad Lanes who took it. But Krush, in his last match of the day, the last string, in his last half, he threw a triple strike and then a spare at the end. That actually coming after a 4-box, so he's got to think that if he didn't have that 4-box, he could have had the title.
Now, Krush is way out in Holyoke, and if it wasn't for that, there might be more pros who would be watching him and thinking about, potentially adding him to their Friday teams or their World's teams at some point in the future with the ball he throws.
You've got to be scouting, right, John?
Oh, yes. I'm always here scouting. I'm always here looking for young guys, to come up to the next level. And this Krush guy right here seems like a perfectly good fit for some team.
Rob, I don't know if you should be giving him these ideas to scout. He's the captain of our Friday team. Whose place would they be taking, right? Somebody's got to be out.
John's here building a farm system for the weak links.
See you later, Jimbo.
Yeah, see you later, Jimbo.
I can't get rid of him.
I see Josh just picked up the spare there. I bowl on Monday nights with Josh, and as I've told Rob, he's already got 3 or 4 400s this year. He's an up-and-comer to watch, too.
He has come so far in the past year. Josh had a great mind for the game last year, takes it extremely seriously, and now it seems like bowling in all those leagues is just giving him the chance to go from a very good bowler to a great one. He's right up at that top tier.
Lowell reminds me of a Jimbo in a way. Has that nice follow-through with that nice left-to-right hook.
I hadn't really noticed the left-to-right hook on him, but you are right. And now that I'm looking for it, it's there on the ball, that's for sure.
Now,
yeah, he'll be a great bowler someday to watch.
Now, John, you bowled on Candlepin for Kids several times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
How do you feel that prepared you for the pro game?
Oh, it just got me mentally focused, being able to perform in pressure situations, and this program is a great example of what these young bowlers can actually become later on down the road.
What I loved about it was a singles match, when in that youth game there are all these just giant 13-string marathon-like tournaments. You never really bowl one-string competitions head-to-head, so that was always kind of fun.
And now that there's no Candlepin bowling for adults on TV, I mean, this is basically a one-step program here to try and get bowling back on TV, and this is a good way to start.
I checked my television today, Rob. I was looking under NESN, and I see there is a bowling show on TV.
Well, when this show airs on YouTube 3 weeks ago, I hope nothing tragic happens. But we'll edit that out if it did. But, no, things are certainly looking up. Things looking up for Krush as well. He gets the 10 there. Having a little trouble getting that first mark out of the way. Breaking the ice can always be a challenge.
We're one box away from our commercial break, and then we'll have Smoke the Shoe when we come back. We're going to have Aaron Halbedell, another bowler out of Bogey Lane, so I know very well. Bowled against him before when he subbed in the adult leagues. He'll be looking to crush me. Since I'm only averaging 6.5 a box, I'd say he's got a very good chance of doing it. But we're going to let John Starner stay through and commentate and exploit my weaknesses and let everybody know.
He might be replaced in more than just that Friday Night Pro League, Dan. We might want John in the booth. Josh looking for the strike. He's got a wobbling 7. Nice piece of wood, though. Jamie unable to get that mark, so he's going to have his work cut out for him in the second half. It's 16 right now, and Josh has the chance to really put a dagger in there.
Maybe the longest streak of non-marks for Krush
all day.
All day, yeah.
So Jamie with the 10.
He's saving him off for the second half.
That's when it counts.
Josh with a 10 as well, so 16 pins the difference, but you know Sonya and Jamie can make that up in a heartbeat. Stay with us for Smoke the Shoe.
Hi, welcome back to Candlepin for Kids. This is Dan Goth here, and I'm here with Smoke the Shoe segment, my favorite segment. It's about to be your favorite segment, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm here with Aaron Halbedell. I bowl with him before when you've subbed in the Monday Night League in Bogey Lanes, correct?
Yep.
You do a lot of bowling outside of Bogey as well?
Sort of. Not much.
You made our show before?
No.
No. So this is one of your first times actually on the air. I'm kind of low on confidence right now, as you've seen. Everybody's been crushing me. You think you can add yourself to that list of people crushing me?
I'm hoping so.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to turn this microphone over to my team captain. You guys can exploit my weaknesses.
Let's get this to John. So one box. Shoe versus Aaron Halbedell. Who you like in this one, John?
I'm hoping for Aaron in this one.
I'm hoping for him too.
Yes.
I think with all the folks at home. Shoe with a good first ball though.
A little full on the head pin, leaves a 2-1. Aaron with a nice ball.
Now Shoe's always complaining to me about all the 2-in-1 splits he gets. Does he do that to you too on Fridays?
Oh, he does it all the time.
So annoying. Shoe trying to cut it though, just off.
Maybe if he would have jumped a little higher, those spins would have fell.
Now, John, you are a captain in the upcoming Pro Series team tournament, right?
Yes, I am.
You got your eyes set on Shoe, or you gonna hope he slides?
Oh, I'm hoping to pick Shoe up in the later rounds, but I have a good idea on what my first pick's gonna be.
Good sleeper pick. Well, Shoe comes away with the victory. He's 2 for 3 so far. Stay with us here on Candlepin for Kids. Second half on Candlepin for Kids. Shannon Scribner on lane 23. She is boasting with a 16-pin lead, but Sonya can cut into that quickly.
Trying to double her 73 half here. Heading for a 140 game.
And we have to thank John Starner for his time with us.
Yeah,
he was fun to have on the broadcast.
Yeah, it's always good every once in a while. Bring the old Candlepin for kids back once they become pros. God, we're starting to amass quite a few of them, Rob.
Yeah, we've got to be getting into double digits at this point.
And I got to get in good with him because I think he's drafting today in the Pro Series tonight.
We talked about that, actually.
I'm in the draft list, and yeah, I'm a 5th round steal is the way I look at myself.
That's exactly what he said. He was looking at you as a late round pickup. Said he already knew who his first pick was going to be.
And
he
it's
said
not me?
I don't think so. He was saying later rounds. So.
All right.
It's like in fantasy, Dan. If the good ones are available late, then
I'm only averaging about 7 pins a box here, so I don't blame him. All right, 82, 69,
19 pins. The
19
difference
total.
in favor of Scribner. Dan, you've been behind a lot in matches before in your lifetime. What's
That's
it like
true.
when you're facing a 19-pin deficit?
Well, first and foremost, Rob, it's a good point. You know, anybody who bowls pro is going to be behind a lot, but you know, you have to believe you can win, and that's really the key. The time that I had the best comeback in my life, I was down a lot, and honestly, you've got to turn it around, and you've got to say, this is an opportunity to show everybody that you're good, and people will be talking about it if you can come back. So that's something they can look at. You come back from 19 down, people are going to talk about it.
The other first step to that is pinning, and Sonya does a good job there, chopping 5 off that deficit without a mark.
That's right. You chop 5 off without a mark. That's your typical amount you're going to chop off with a mark, so that's fantastic. Now you get it down to 2 reasonable marks, you know, because 7 fills a typical mark, 14 pins.
We'll see how Scribner comes back. Now, one of my favorite things about this matchup is that both of these young ladies are 15, which means we're going to be seeing them in this Division 3 for at least 2 more seasons. So we've got a few older ladies in that division, like Kylie Josefiak, but
oh, wow.
The young talent in it is great, and Sonya's showing it there.
I'm continuing to chop off on the lead. See, we talk about what it takes to come back. and it's happening.
And you talk about doing something great and having the chance to do something great. That was a great shot. So now 12 pins the difference. Shannon tossed a 351 today, and that was only good for second place in our tournament. Sonya besting her with a 353. Those are some high scores.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. In fact, I mean, would one of them have won in the boys too?
They would not actually. No. Josh was at 372, but it
they
would
typically
have been third
would.
place.
Yeah, typically those would be. Oh, look at that! I mean, 5 isn't a horrible fill, but that's a horrible leave on 22.
Door,
Sonya.
well, not open. Shannon's got a chance here to build that lead back up, and she's on it.
Well, that's what you got to do. When your opponent's got a tough break, you've got to make your easy ones. Because how many times, Rob, do I see if you miss an easy one and your opponent has a tough one, it's almost automatic they find a way to make that crazy tough shot. So you can't give them that opening.
Absolutely. And Shannon has listed here that she's a great student. I think that's pretty awesome for us to showcase some of our...
It really is, and I think too many times people don't write that as something that's important. A lot of kids don't think that makes you popular, and you know, maybe it doesn't. I think it makes them more popular than they realize. They just realize, you know, you're smart, kind of get picked on, but it is an accomplishment. It's worth bragging about.
And
if you don't do it, we will.
And in the long run, that, you know, might go farther for you than playing basketball or playing soccer.
The whole reason I liked you, Rob.
What a bid by Scribner. It's Scribner making the nice bid, but it's Sonya picking up the spare.
I figured I hook up as a friend with somebody who's really smart, and then they can take over all the video editing. That was my long-term plan, and it's worked to perfection. That was a pretty spare.
12 pins right now. Shannon is going to try to keep it that way. She'll need them both to do so, and she does. That's a pretty 10. So 12 pins minus this ball by Sonya. She has a chance to get it into that critical single digits point, and you know Krush.
What a ball!
Quite a few. So it's 5.
That was a great ball. Reminiscent of Smoke the Shoe balls right there. A 2-in-1 split.
2 great scores by our ladies. 119 to 118. Sonya wins it.
I'm glad I wasn't bowling them. They both had 4 marks. 1 pin away. It's pretty fitting.
So now we'll see if our guys can match that level of intensity. You know they will.
You know, going in, as good as these girls are, I expected the guys to have the higher scores in this match. These two are fireballers, but it's, you know, hey, it doesn't always work that way. Girls earned it. 4 marks.
We say all the time, in a one-string match, anything can definitely happen.
That is, you talked about why you like one-string matches, and that aspect of it wasn't covered. And I was thinking it at the time, is that it doesn't matter who you are.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you could be bowling the best bowler in the world, one string, few bad breaks, you're right there.
Josh with a great try. Doesn't quite clip that 8-pin.
Everything but the kitchen sink thrown at that pin.
Krush just off. That was a half-inch off that 5-pin. And now we always say how important pinning is. Josh a little off. Which gives Jamie the chance to get it to 4. 4 boxes, 4 pins the difference. Anybody's game. And Josh has his high triple listed here as 447.
I was expecting you to say it was against me for a minute there, but no, he didn't hit that one against me. He threw a 405 against me, though. Started off this season. Wasn't the best start of the year for me.
Krush off, but getting something to show for it. A lot of nice action there.
We're going to send Bloom down there to check on that. I think it's legal.
I think it's legal, too.
We're gonna call it legal.
Josh making a great offer there, not able to convert. Krush is.
Hey, use it all, baby.
And a weird box there for Krush, but it looks the same on the scoreboard. Josh not able to get those 2. So it's now 2 pins, minus this ball by Jamie Schmidt. And Jamie, of course, as I mentioned in Portsmouth, saved his best for last with a triple strike in the 13th string of the tournament.
He's looking to avenge the fact that they didn't quite win it by doing it here.
Josh answering back, leaving just that pesky orange pin.
Yeah, the detestable orange pin.
Krush with a great ball, but a tough split. That does shift this over to his side. 5 pins the advantage.
Krush does have a piece of wood to play, but you'd like to see more angle. I mean, he almost has to take a very right to left angle with his ball in order to catch the corner of that cap.
Josh might not have been where he wanted there, but he'll take the spare. Jamie going for the 2.
I don't blame him, Rob. I've seen 3 times in the past week people make that shot the way he tried. You throw that off the wall. You know, you hope that the 4-pin will catch the 7, hit the wall, and then come back and take the 5.
And we've seen pins fly around quite a bit here today.
Though looking at that, maybe that was where he wanted to.
That definitely might have done
it. It was not an easy angle, and that's probably what he was thinking, is the angle was terrible.
So 4 pins now in favor of Krush, minus this ball by Lowell.
Back and forth we go. Lead changes galore.
3 tight ones to kick off Season 10 of Candlepin for Kids.
Oh, he
Way off.
steals
What
a few.
break.
He's sigh of relief there.
Shifts it to 2 in his favor. Jamie buries it.
Oh, we were waiting for the trademark.
And that's the
Hulk
primal
smash.
scream, folks.
He did take the Hulk hands, Rob. He won those for a high single, so.
Can use those in those celebrations. Josh, oh, no luck there for Josh.
As bad as Josh's first ball was, and he'd be the first one to tell you it was a poor ball, that was an excellent ball right there.
The head pin clipped the 4 perfect. Just didn't go in the right direction. Josh does get his 10. So now, 2 pins, minus this ball by Jamie.
Yeah, and barring a bad box by Jamie where he throws a half wister and goes down the hole or something, I think realistically Josh knows he's got to throw a mark here.
I agree.
And it's a good chance. Spare, strike, doesn't matter.
Head pin.
Crushed.
Oh boy.
Crushed. He deserved better than that.
Jamie avoids that bad box, so Josh is going to need this. That could give it a shot. You got to be low though, I would think.
Or cap. Or he
goes
plays
to
a
the
3.
Oh.
Tell you, Rob, if he hit it in the pocket that his ball was going to,
It was gutsy,
something on the left
but it
was
had
going
a
to go.
shot.
I don't know if he would have got them all, but it would have been interesting to see.
Krush is going to wrap this one up. But a great match on both sides. High scores from our bowlers and it going right down to the wire. Jamie's going to finish this one up. He and his partner, Sonya Richard, are going to the Tournament of Champions. What a match on both sides. 5 pins of difference. 226, the victory in favor of Jamie Schmidt. Make sure to catch them on our high-low jack.
Somebody's going to hit this, Rob.
I hope so. High-low jack time. Shannon Scribner up first.
I predicted it here. I'm in Swami today. Somebody's hitting it.
That was a good spot. Her ball has that hook. It's going to be tougher to get the 7 with the ball.
Well, the people with the hook, I'd like to see them hit the head pin, cross over it, hit the head pin so that the ball continues on and takes the other corner. I think it's a little easier.
So, given that 7-10 split a shot. Favorite show, Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh, I love that show.
I knew it.
I'm never going to eat at any of the restaurants. Just see there even.
And no dice for Shannon Scribner. Sonya Richards' turn. Sonya making her 2nd consecutive trip to the Tournament of Champions. Last year she did it in Division 2 with partner Stephen Powers, I believe. And they came just short of Aaron Souza and Maddie Kelly in a really exciting match.
That's right. Stephen Powers was here today qualifying too. 3 solid games. Didn't quite have enough to win though.
Both Sonya and Steven moved up in age group this year. Sonya, though, having no difficulties in this Division 3.
I hope nobody else hits it because I only had one $5
You're
gift
out,
card
right?
left. So I can pay that one off.
Josh Lowell's turn. Now, Josh might have an interesting advantage here because if it looks right to me, there's like a pin stuck in the back.
I know, huh?
So that might be a chance for the 7-pin to ricochet off it.
It's going to be trending on Twitter. Controversy.
That's not legal.
Controversy at CP4K.
That's not legal. Let's see. Oh, it nearly did help him. The ball
his ball
hit
struck
back.
it.
Wow.
That tells you how close his ball was for hitting the 7. That was right behind the 7.
That would have been something.
Yeah. Think he can miss it twice? Save me $5.
Well,
so far, so good, Rob.
That's a spirit.
CP4K funding.
Always supportive.
We're running on a 0 budget.
Kids. Josh has his favorite TV show listed as Candlepin Bowling with Don Gillis, which he was not alive for.
I'm calling a lob on that.
Josh gets his $5, but as I mentioned earlier, he has such a great mind for the game, and you can tell with his willingness to go back onto the YouTube and watch our online competition.
Yeah.
Candlepin Classics.
It's kind of cool.
Now, Jamie Schmidt's chance.
It reminds me of another bowler we used to have who would watch all of our episodes and tell us what was going on 7 lanes to the left of the actual match.
Good old Boudreaux. Jamie Schmidt
just off. There's so much power behind it. If he did nick that head pin, it might have gone across the lane 3 or 4 times.
His hidden talent is that he's a percussionist.
Didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that either. That's awesome.
Is that a drummer?
No.
What is a percussionist?
It involves blowing. That's all I know.
I'm going to say it's a drummer. You can say it involves
Not
blowing.
a drummer. If he was a drummer, he would have written drummer. That wraps up our high-low jack segment. Up next, In the Gutter. When you walk into Leo's Super Bowl, the first thing you spot is a couple of giant pins, Woody's cousins perhaps, and we loved the atmosphere. So we asked the kids what they thought about the CP4K environment too.
I don't know, I'm liking these lanes the way it is. Feels right.
Everything's going right?
Everything
feels
going
like
right.
like this might be the
Feels
one.
like this is my house.
Nervous,
Nervous? Why are you nervous?
because I want to be on TV. I've been like saying, all right, you can do this, you can get the head pin, like you can get the strike, and if she misses the strike, you can get the spare. And like I kind of go with this, because that means like, oh, calm down, it's okay, you can do this, you can get a good score.
Why do you think you're bowling better today?
The pressure.
The pressure? You do better under the pressure?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Any reason?
The rush, I guess. It just makes me feel more pumped to do better.
I had a comeback in my first game after falling at a 39.5. A spare with an 8 felt really paid off in that game.
I like to bowl for my grandfather, which has already passed away. And if he were here, he would cheer me on. That's why I like bowling.
Welcome back here on Candlepin for Kids. Before we start, I need to apologize for last segment. I was wrong. A percussionist is not a tuba player or something like that. It is indeed a drummer. I apologize, Jamie. I apologize, Dan.
Who was right?
I apologize. You were indeed correct. I will not edit that previous segment out. Dan, you're with our runners-up.
Thank you, Rob. And I've pre-written some open-ended questions. I know you told me to work on open-ended questions. So for the first one, Shannon, goes to you. Who are you going to vote for? Oh, no, that's the wrong page.
Always a kidder.
What actually got you into Candlepin bowling in the first place?
I found it online, just watching some Candlepin bowling, and I found this website and I kind of liked it.
Now, you see, to me, that's like the most awesome question and answer I've probably ever given, because I didn't expect that for an answer, really. How long have you been bowling for?
About 8 years.
Wow. And you found it online?
Yes, I did.
There's hope then, Rob. If we keep putting our shows online, more kids are going to find it. What do you like best about Candlepin for Kids, CP4K?
Mostly the excitement, how all the crowd gets really hyped and gets the bowlers hyped.
That's awesome. Do you think those are good questions?
Yes.
Do you think any other better questions I should come up with for the next people I interview?
No.
All right, you work on that. I'm going to go to Josh, okay?
Ask her about Portsmouth.
Oh, Portsmouth. Portsmouth. The whole reason Rob predicted you were one of the best bowlers in his top 25 ranking. Do you remember where you put it, Rob?
Around 11. Do you remember?
Around 11?
No, I don't.
So Portsmouth, you want to tell everybody what you did at Portsmouth, how well you bowled this time?
Kind of. I got first place in all events and I topped all of the high. I had the high 13 strings.
First time you've won all events for Portsmouth?
Yes.
And you beat some quality competition, right? I know the girls in Portsmouth's very tough to win, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, you've got your Madison Kellys, Kai Josefiaks, Amanda Banks. I'm leaving people out. You can't not leave people out. There's so much competition there. Did that make you nervous going up against them, or were you just in the zone the whole day?
It didn't really make me nervous. I was just in the zone most of the day.
I'll say before I leave you that Robbie saw you bowl one string and predicted you were going to win it. He did. I'm giving him credit for that. He really did, and that's amazing. Two good questions left for you, Josh. What is your next Candlepin bowling goal? If you had to pick one thing, what do you want to accomplish next that you haven't done yet?
Well, really, what I want to do is win the show. This is my second time coming in second place on the show in the last couple of years. But mainly is I'm getting my certificate of coaching hopefully in January, and that's a really good goal too, because I like coaching the kids. I coach Fridays and Saturdays. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I think I've seen you throw 3 or 4 400s this year. I think having that under your belt gets you a little bit of respect too, which that goes a long way for coaching, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like, people will know, okay, he knows what he's talking about, and he can bowl well at the same time. So, like, I'm a good role model for the kids. I try to be a good role model for them.
And that's important. Otherwise, you know, quality competitor like Nate's not going to listen to you, right? Unless you're able to beat him.
Well, he doesn't listen to me anyways, but.
And the last question, so along the lines of the last question I asked you, what is your favorite bowling accomplishment that you've actually achieved so far in your young career?
Well, it's to break 400. That's a really, really good goal for me, and to break 600. Like I threw a 421 during a kids league. I tied my high single, and I just kept it going. And I made it. And my coach and I made a bet that if I didn't win it, well, we won't say what happened, but
because we don't have enough time, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I needed a 94 for 400. I ended up throwing a 115, so that was a really good ending. But it's also the fact that I'd like to thank Bogey Lanes for giving me those opportunities, because their kids leagues offer free bowling for anyone that's in the kids league. And so you can go in and bowl as much as you want for free.
That's a good plug for Bogey. I'm going to end it there like the Academy Awards. We'll cut you off.
Yeah.
Turn it over to Rob with the champs. We're going to give them some airtime.
Thank you, Dan. Here with our champions. We'll start with you, Sonya. Last year, you took Division II by storm. This year, moving up an age group. Were you more nervous about this year? The competition's stiff.
A little bit, but not really, because it's pretty much a whole group of my friends moved up with me, and it's just friendly competition, so like Shannon.
Well, you brought your A game today. I've said that you're a 120 machine on our show, and you didn't let me down again, right up there with the high 1-teen game. What is it about these shows? You're averaging about 120 on Candlepin for Kids.
I don't know. Pressure makes me bowl better, I guess.
It's a great quality to have. It seems like you're a lock up there. Going back to the Tournament of Champions, what are you going to do sitting out the next two? You can't be used to that.
I'm not. I'm just going to go and just do good and then not do so good.
Well, out of the gates, bowling against Shannon, you guys were going back and forth in a great match. What was going through your head up there?
Just take every box 10 pins at a time and I'd be fine.
You did extremely fine. Crushed you as well. Coming up clutch at the end there. What was going through your head all match?
Pin. That's it. Just get my head into the game and pin.
That was a big factor. At the end, you were pinning, and then you also came up with that huge strike, and you gave us that primal scream. Can you do it for us again?
Yeah!
Thank you. Poor Chris has the headphones on. He looks a little hurt. You're coming off a huge Portsmouth. What's been going so well for you over the past few weeks? It seems like you're in a zone.
I really don't know. I don't know what's been going through me. It's bowling.
Have you been practicing more? Have you changed anything? You've jumped right up into that elite tier, it seems, only in a few months.
I've changed nothing. I haven't even been bowling more. I've just been bowling Saturdays, that's it.
Well, you look like a seasoned vet up there. We're excited to see you guys in the Tournament of Champions, and you have your $50 gift card, so congratulations today. Shu, that wraps up our first Candlepin for Kids event of the season. It was a great day all around.
It was, Rob, and I know after we pack this all up, pack up our show, we both got separate jobs ahead of us. You've got a lot of video editing to do, and apparently I've got more open-ended questions to write. I go from getting simple yes-no answers to long-winded Academy Award speeches. I got to find a middle ground here.
I'll switch jobs with you any day, buddy. That was it for our Candlepin for Kids. Thank you for watching. Our next stop is Bogey Lanes on January 13th. I'm pretty sure Josh will be there to represent his home house. We want to see you there too. On behalf of the entire Candlepin for Kids staff, thank you for watching us. Thanks to Leo Super Bowl for being extremely generous in hosting us today. They've supported the show greatly, and a lot of folks at home have supported us as well. Alongside Dan Gauthier, I'm Rob Taylor. Thanks for watching here on Candlepin for Kids. And John, are you good? Rolling? All right, let's hear it, everybody. Danger zone!
I didn't expect to do this good, but I gave it all I got on that string, so I was very proud of myself.
And what was the biggest score your friend threw today?
98.
That's not bad. Do you want to say hi to them on camera?
No.
They're good friends, but they're not that good? Okay, I understand. And did you meet Olivia that game?
Yeah.